Good day, YouTube. I'm getting ready for another trip, another little adventure, a little gravel ride, and we'll go through the proposed route. I'm just about all ready to go, and this is the proposed route. I'm calling it a hell of a loop. It's only 225 k's, but it's a pretty interesting loop, and it's taking me into a little bit of the Karoo, Western Cape area, about 3.5 hours from Cape Town, starting off and basing the tour in Carletsdorp, or just north of Carletsdorp actually, at a place called the Fish Eagle Resort, where I will start the loop and go clockwise around the plan, about 226 k's through. So basically it starts at Fish Eagle Resort, through Carletsdorp, along a tarred section, and then off the main road, gravel road, through the Sewewerkspoort Pass. First night actually is at a place called Oppie Plaas, just outside the pass, the entrance to the pass. And then from there, on the second day, along the Spine Road, along the spur, to a place called Die Hel. Now Die Hel is a hiker bike, quite a steep path down from the end of this valley into the Gamkaskloof, known as Die Hel. So I'll have to put a little bit of portage down this section here into Die Hel, and then from there, staying anywhere. There's a number of places to stay in the Gamkaskloof, in Die Hel, and then the third day is a climb out of Die Hel up to the top of the Swartberg Pass, take a left, drop down to Prince Albert, spend the night in Prince Albert, and then back over the Swartberg Pass over to the other side, Maatjiesfontein area, Oudtshoorn down here, somewhere down here, and then follow this road all the way along, staying over at Swartberg Wilds for the last night. So that's it. A little bit of tar over there, and over there. Not too much. The rest is all gravel. The biggest section is going to be this descent here to get down into Gamkaskloof Valley, at the top end of the valley, via Die Hel, or the ladder. So that's going to be a real interesting. And then of course it's quite a massive climb to get out up to the Swartberg Pass, down, and then back up and down the other side again. Yeah, looking forward to it. Okay, so for the upcoming gravel tour, hell of a loop, I'll be using my faithful Pardus Oregano 11-speed gravel carbon bike, and one of the changes is I've changed from SPD clip-ons to, or clipless. I've changed SPD clipless to flat pedals. There may be a little bit of hiker bike, and I want to make sure I've got some good shoes for doing that. So trying out the flat pedals for now. Starting in the front, Panaracer 50 gravel King SK Plus, small knob plus, seem to be pretty good so far. I've lasted 2 major tours already on those. On the front bar bag setup, I have my mini chair, portable chair, and a tail fin bag with sleeping gear, and that is attached to the front by the tail fin bar rack, which is pretty solid. Running a Garmin ecosystem, so I've got the Vario system with the light UL800, the Garmin 1040 solar, and the Garmin Vario camera combination 715, I think it is. That I'll get back to that. But yeah, so continuing on in front, we have profile aero bars set up. Put a crossbar along there to mount another mount, and that will carry the remote for the Hover X1 Pro 4K drone. So I have a remote control over there. As I mentioned, I've got the Garmin 1040 solar, and that is mounted to Redshift's bar bag for the kitchen sink. Fits perfectly on these aero bars and has nice access, magnetically controlled, for small items that you can stow in front there. So stowage is also supplemented by the 2 feed bags on either side. One of them carries the drone, fits in there perfectly, and the other carries spare batteries. And that is hooked up with some charging cables, so I can keep the drone on charge with the portable batteries. I've got 2 10,000 milliamp hour batteries in there. Moving backwards, new addition to the package is the Adapura system. So I've got the racing top tube, which is 2 liters. This is apparently waterproof, yet to be tested, and that is compartmentalized into 2 compartments, so I can carry battery, phone, whatever in there, and some tools in the rear, and they can be accessed by a twin zip system. So you can either get just that section there, or I can access it from there. Also new to the system is the Adapura full frame bag, the new version, and it's got a zip on this side with a very small compartment, so I can keep documents in here, and maybe my phone as well, and some smaller items, pen, cable ties, etc. go in there. Moving on to the other side of that, so the main cargo area here is here, and here I've got some warm clothing. I've also got a waterproof outer shell, new, that I'm going to test from Colombia. It's new. Let me see quickly. There we go. Waterproof, breathable, titanium. I don't have the name for it, but yeah, it's got a hoodie and all the necessary adjustments that can be made to it. So yeah, hopefully I won't need it, but it's that time of the year, so I will be taking that with me. And I got my mini foot pump as well from Design, a really good piece of kit. Haven't needed it except for the start of one of my trips where I lost a bit of air, and then a spare tube. So plenty of place to put more stuff in there. And then the lower one has the Adapura tank, the 3-liter water tank, which fits perfectly into this little triangle here. And then there's the feed tube up here and across to the other side, and that is attached to a little retaining, or a little what would you call it, spring-loaded leash, or spring-loaded leash, so that I can actually get to it like that, and then it will keep the end in place. It's also a new addition. Continue to move back, so we got the same 2-bar up front, GRX system, Shimano GRX, a spare tube and canister there. One big change I have made is I've changed the cassette. So I used to go from 11 to 42, now going from 11 to 50. So fortunately, for some reason, the chain fits. It's a smooth change, and haven't really needed to do anything else to the actual GRX itself, the derailleur, the rear derailleur itself. Yeah, that's going to be a big addition to improve climbs. Yeah, so that's going to be quite a nice new addition, with pedaling up some of the more steeper climbs. And onto the rear, we have our Thule pannier system, 20 liters each, and because I now have more space, I'm taking more or less the same amount of gear as the last trip, but I'll be able to spread it a little bit more, so I don't have to overpack these things drum tight like the last time. Yeah, so this one takes my food and some clothes, and this one takes the tent, which is a Durston X-Dome 2-person tent, a really great piece of kit, as well as my Sea to Summit mattress, blow-up mattress, which has got an RF of 7, so really nice warm mattress, long wide mattress, really comfortable. I also have a little bag between the two panniers here that's also got rain gear in it, but and my tools, and then it's got 2 side pouches as well, which I can pack with various items. This also converts, it comes off and converts into a backpack, so I do have a backpack if I want to do any day trips. Then on top I've got the solar panel. I think this is 15 watts of charging. Worked really well on the last trip, kept everything charged. I will be carrying quite a big 25,000 100-watt battery in the bottom of one of these panniers for standby, but last time I used the solar panel, I didn't need it at all. So the solar panel is wired with a long USB charger into the charging port of the Apodura pack. Top carry bag, so I can access it that way, and if need be I can just transfer it over into one of these bags here to top up the batteries there. That's it. So my water system is I do have 3 liters there, and another liter there, 4 liters, plus 3 in there, 7 liters of water. This one can be fitted with a filter, which I'll keep in here, and that just plugs in. So this is the Sawyer mini filter, and it just plugs into this bottle here, inside this bottle. Obviously have a full frame bag, so there's no place for water bottles, so water bottles have been transferred to a seat setup, a la triathlete time trial type setup, and on that I've also added a clamp with an extension for the radar, so that I can still have the radar going. It's no good having a radar on on any of these types of fittings here, because it just flops around. So that's a more static point to mount the radar. The walking pole or hiking pole, hiking stick, whatever you want to call it, collapsible one, that just fits in underneath here to keep the bike upright while you're working on it. That also means that you have to apply the brakes so that the bike doesn't roll away. So I have an O-ring here. It's actually a mounting O-ring from one of my Garmin's, and that just keeps the brake activated and stops the bike from rolling away. A quick rundown of the electronics. On the front I have my Insta360 X5, and it's connected to a magnetic mechanical clamp over there. Pretty rugged, robust, and you just twist it off and it becomes disconnected, and then slap it in there and it's connected. Survived quite a few trips like that. I do have a safety lanyard that I can fit, that I've got fitted here, and then you just roll that off and away you go. When you're finished, slap it in there, it's connected, and then put the safety lanyard on. On top here is the remote for the Hover X1, and that just gives me extended range and a little bit more control over the manual control of the drone. And then the drone itself sits in here, and that's a Hover X Pro, X1 Pro, and it's 4K. It also carries an SD card, so I can get quite a bit of footage on that, and it's got all the automatic functions like follow me, drone, spirals, zoom out, dolly track, etc. All automatic, and yeah, extremely handy piece of kit. And that fits just in there like that. And then in the front pouch here I'll be carrying GoPro 13. That's got the big lens on it. The max lens mod on it. That gives you 100% locked horizon and quite a good field of view as well. Also carrying an extension for that remote. This modifies the remote into a wand, so you can actually control the drone with the use of the wand. Pretty good tool to have. That's it. That's all the electronics, besides the batteries and the portable chargers and the solar panel keeping everything up and running. So I should also mention that obviously I've got some filming equipment, and each one's got an SD card, and they obviously fill up pretty quickly. So on a multi-day journey, you need a place to be able to dump the footage, or you just end up having to have a whole pile of SD cards. So I've only got one SD card for each of the units, for the GoPro and for the Hover X Pro and for the Insta360. So they've each only got one card. So at the end of every day I use a file transfer system which is battery operated, and that is this RAV power. It is, as I say, it's battery operated, and you then connect a hard drive to it. You can either use a solid state or one of these. No issues. Time's not a problem, so I'll just let this run. But yeah, you connect this to that, and then you mount the SD card into the slot over there, and you press a button and it transferred everything from the SD card onto the the backup. So I'll keep this backed up with all my daily videos and stores it on there, and then I'll format each SD card and put it back in the camera and start all over again. It comes with an app, so you can check the drive on the app to make sure that files have gone over and actually exist on this drive. It would be an absolute disaster if you think you've transferred over and at the end of 3 or 5 days this thing's empty. So yeah, quite an important part of my whole sort of gadget setup here. But yeah, fairly effective. Takes probably a fullest SD card would take probably about 10 minutes to transfer over. If I had a solid state, an SSD, it will take a lot quicker, but you know, you just let the thing run. Once you finish the day, you just put the cards in and let it run and back up itself. Okay. Few items to add, some clothes and some food, and yeah, off we go.